A very warm welcome to this third episode of Conversations That Matter, a podcast where we talk about the big ideas that are helping move humanity forward. And importantly, the inner work we must do to realize these ideas. Today, our guest is a good friend and colleague, Peter Leong, who is based in New Zealand. Welcome, Peter. It's amazing to have you. Thank you for coming and joining and sharing your wisdom with us today.
I'm more than happy to be here with you to share. I would say quite a unique experience I've been going through since the last, let's say, 8 or 9 months in my life. So I'm looking forward to sharing and on having this podcast conversation with you.
Let us just jump in, Peter, and go back to September 2022, I believe, or August 2022. And maybe you can just share with us what happened to you and how did it change your life in that particular moment?
In mid-September, it was confirmed by the oncologist that I had stage 3 cancer. It was in the lower part of my esophagus and the upper part of my stomach. Of course, there was a tremendous shocking news, for both myself and my wife initially. I was told and I was informed that it was going to be a very invasive treatment program because I had quite a large area in 2 main organs of my body. And so it was going to take roughly a month, 4 weeks, something like, 14 sessions of radiation and 6 sessions of chemo over a period of 4 to 5 weeks. For me, Mark, basically, I sense quite quickly that I have to ground myself, all right, because of the kind of work that we have been doing before. We always try to stay grounded and not get caught in the confusion of things we don't know, especially and adverse things like this that we don't know. So I felt it was very important for me and for my family, for my wife, to remain grounded and not, inverted comma, go crazy over news like that and become too anxious, too anxiety. Of course, I had inner fear, I had uncertainty. What's going to happen? Am I going to survive this? And so on. But intuitively, I knew, not only for others around me who are close to me, but also for my own, to meet this daunting challenge, I must stay grounded. And so I started to think of ways to be able to, anticipate the suffering that I knew that I was going to go through, because these are major invasive treatment program. And very quickly, I realized that it was going to be a huge spiritual journey for me as well. If I were to give myself, my body, the best effort, if you like, from me as a whole person, and not to totally rely only on the rational way that medical science is. With due respect, I believe in science. I'm a science graduate, so I believe in science, I believe in technology, but I also, at the same time, believe that there are other aspects of the whole person that I am, all right, including the heart, the soul, the spirit, all right, the whole person that I am. But most importantly is to kind of take charge. That's too strong a word, but to participate in my own healing. And I knew intuitively that I would have to transform the way I see things very quickly, because things were happening very quickly, and consequences of, in this case, not participating could be detrimental. In other words, I just kind of be like a bystander and let the medical people take charge. I sense that I had to do more than that, to embrace what they are saying, to learn what they are saying, but also to learn more about my body and my spiritual self, if you like, to help, all right, in my recovery, and to increase the chances that I would get through this and be healed, all right? When you have a challenge like this, you kind of have a new kind of sensitivity to want to do the right thing, that inner voice, that says, yes, I must, I really want to share, first of all, the news that I'm going to be treated for stage 3 cancer. I just intuitively know that support, that collective energy, it was very healing for me too. Not that I knew that, but as I was sharing, I felt that I had a support group that could actually accompany me, all right? And the more I wrote each day, the more I was open to really share the pain that I went through, the reflections that I go through. And because the response from Circle, and this is what I learned now to be collective healing, it was a very important source, energy of healing as I fought, through the whole cancer journey from, end of October to right to today, if you like.
Yeah. I think what also happened, which was really quite beautiful, is that in your sharing, it wasn't, you were it started as you being the center point of the circle. And I think what happened over time is that your sharing opened everyone else up as well. And that we had, each one of us had our own sort of healing experience for ourselves. Of course, we weren't struggling with, the same diagnosis as you were, and it wasn't as serious, but we're all going through things in our own lives. We all have our struggles. We all have our things that we're processing and that we're healing. And I think there was something about that collective energy and about your, the openness and the vulnerability with which you were showing up that allowed us to do the same. And so it eventually became not just about you, but it became about all of us. And there was something quite magical that happened there.
That's very interesting you put it that way. And now I'm thinking about it, Mark. It's it shifted from just sharing what I went through each day, how I felt, how bad I felt, and how did I overcome, the physicality and the bodily experience. I mean, it was really drastic. I lost, for example, over 14 kg. I had no energy. I couldn't even walk for 2-3 minutes. I had great difficulty in swallowing. And my nutrition was through a nasal tube most of the time, and also having to have maybe for over 2 months just liquefied nutrition, because I had to gain weight with the help of the medical team, mainly the dietitian. What I want to say here is, eventually that was not, it evolved, if you like, it elevates, it transcended into us sharing what what our lives mean to us. And from the circle, Mark, I really felt so much love. And in any healing process, this is the first time I'm reflecting in this way. And in any healing process, it is receiving sincere, deep-hearted, well-felt, reflected, love from others and care for others. All right. That is a very important part in recovering from adverse health condition and recovery.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Peter, because I start to kind of get a sense of what you were saying before about this being also kind of a spiritual journey. And the word that comes to me now is like a mystical, somewhat mystical journey.
Actually, that is my first learning, was that there's a difference between faith and hope, right? So faith, hope is, do you want to get well? Yes, I certainly hope I will get well. But that is not deep enough, not sufficient enough in terms of spiritual healing. For me, I felt and learned just, by researching through the body of knowledge of spirituality that is available to all of us, I soon discover, and I acted on it because it made a lot of sense to me then, because I was suffering, that faith is believing that you are healed before you are healed. And the more I step into believing in things that are unseen yet, but knowing that it has happened, that's faith, right? The more I felt better and better. And of course, there were times when I doubt. It's natural. But I kept faith. And it really, I could feel that it helped me to feel good, if you like, both physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I embraced it. The other thing is, we talked about it, and I talked about it with the circle as well, is that because I have fast-tracked my sort of spiritual healing side, I also start very quickly to look at my own life, every moment of my own life, with more awareness, all right? From simple thing, because I went through a terrible phase from the cancer treatment, all right? Nutrition, for example, not being able to swallow and so on. So now eating food is more alive to me than when I took it for granted that I can eat 3 meals a day, I can eat anything I want, and so on. Another example, all right, simple example, I don't take for granted that, the everyday thing in my life, taking a shower, for example, brushing my teeth, because it was so difficult, Mark, to do that. So every kind of enjoyment of life become accentuated to this day, all right, simple things. But there are also more profound things, like, during my walks, I was able to connect with nature, I take my walks in a very nice large park with many paths, a lot of natural bush. And I started to connect with colors, started to connect with the leaves, with the branches, with tall trees, how magnificent they are, how loving nature is to us. All right. I found, in retrospect and on reflection and contemplation during my walks and during quiet times that I have during my days in my recovery period, that life is actually, it seems so obvious, but life is sacred. Life, and I also learned another thing, that life, our body, the way we are created, is actually meant to be healthy. And I felt that, therefore, my conclusion is not to say that, you know, I did something wrong and therefore I got cancer. My conclusion is that, you know, because now I'm unhealthy, deeply unhealthy, all right, and because we all have this natural gift, if we can tap into it, all right, that we can be healed, because that's the way the human body is, to be healthy. And that was a revelation for me, you know. So instead of saying, "Oh no, you know, I blame myself," you know, or I made mistake in my life, and that's counterproductive, because I've sort of stepped into another level of seeing life and seeing life in connection with nature, in connection with, you know, the universe, the cosmos. You know, it's beautiful, and I never kind of had that realization until recently when I was recovering.
What I love about these conversations is that they're not conceptual in nature. They're very much somebody's lived experience, right? And you're talking about what happened to you as you went through this last 9 months of healing and of, you know, having to process your diagnosis and the impact that it's had on you, you know. And I understand that you haven't, so you've put off the surgery for now. You haven't had any further scans, I believe, since the chemo and the interventions. And you have been, you know, experiencing this healing. And I like what you said before, like faith is about believing that you're healed before that you're healed. I think it was something like that. I guess that's my question. Like, are you healed?
Well, I feel I am. I live as if I am every day. I have gained in weight. I am now able to walk for an hour, you know, in my own pace, and I do, and for, you know, covering over, say, three plus kilometers over an hour, from, you know, being totally fatigued and just lifeless, if you like, during the lows of the treatment. And I'm having conversation with you and with friends in other Zoom calls that I have. Yeah, so I will call the surgeon in April and talk about doing a scan, because I feel now, and my wife and I, we talked about it a lot, that the time that we ask for to take a holistic and spiritual approach to the healing after the radiation and chemo phase, I think we have given enough time. I am convinced personally through experience that I do not have signs that after treatment, the radiation and chemical treatment, that it has sort of become worse, right? And I don't feel any symptoms that I had when I had those cancer cells in my esophagus and stomach. Yes, there are still side effects that I have to that I'm feeling that doesn't make me fully healthy, but it's a journey, right? A journey over years, and I know that I cannot stop this healing, participating in this healing process, to gaining more knowledge, wisdom, to sharing experience, to continue connecting with other people who are interested, if you like, right, to talk about these aspects of one's life. I like to just say one more thing, very important, and that is, this is my unique journey. So I don't want to get the impression that, you know, I'm saying something that I wish you would follow or anything like that. I just hope that, you know, you take an interest in your own health, in the sacredness of life, the gift of life, and in your own unique way, as I do in my own unique way, that when you are down, you can pull yourself up and heal, using a very generic term, heal yourself and pick yourself up from whatever, you know, health or non-health issue that you face. Because this is the gift of life, all right? And we can all come back to the word, participate in our growth, in how we show up in life, how we awaken to more and more truth. And I'm suggesting that eventually all of us, in one form or the other, in different ways, will need to tap into the spiritual level of one's life.